Hi, welcome from HYD Think Tank series. We start this from today, and we hope that we will continue this for the next 1 month, or we want to continue this series actually for the next time. We don't know. It depends on the response. And in the first stage, actually, we're waiting. There is another guest whose name is A.S.M. Uddin. He's one of the expert in one of the biggest refugee crises of the world. He's working as um, as a country manager of Artolution, a refugee program at Cox's Bazar, an independent journalist and a refugee crisis expert. As well as, along with me, right now available, Hamim Islam is a young fellow of HYD program government of Bangladesh, former program focal and find officer of Cox's Bazar Tracing Department, Bangladesh Red Cross Society, auxiliary to the government, and human rights professional and CEO of House of Dialogue. And I'm Zahid Hasan Akhand as and Facebook. And we start this. Okay, and I'm Zahid Hasan Akhand along with me. Sorry, along with you, not me. So we'll start our session. I'm sorry that this is the first time we're doing in this kind of live session. And today our another team did it in the afternoon, and every day we have 2 sessions. So as it's first time we're doing, we have some technical problem, and we are still now experiencing some problem, and we're trying to overcome. And our another guest from Cox's Bazar, actually, he's in the near Rohingya camp, and the internet is very slow from there. So hopefully he can join with us within very short time. So we'll start with Hamim Islam. Hamim Islam, you know that the COVID-19 already bring a big impact around the world right now, especially most of the country of the world are in lockdown. And just so you know that this Rohingya crisis or migrant crisis, they are the people who are actually still not every lockdown or anything, they are moving. Still now we know that more than 500 Rohingya in the Bay of Bengal, or according to the Bangladesh government, they are in international sea, but according to the human rights organization, they are in the Bay of Bengal. So still now there is a crisis going on. Who will take their responsibility, as well as some of the Rohingya still now actually entering in Bangladesh from Myanmar in the lockdown. And though we don't know the official report from Myanmar COVID-19 scenario, because they are always playing this game. So at this point, for the safety of Bangladesh, for the safety of migrants, for the safety of the Rohingya people, actually, what is the scenario there? And as you work there, what do you think about them?
Okay, well, thank you, Zahid Bhai, for the very wonderful question. I think the answer will give insightful to all who are interested to know about the Rohingya refugee crisis. First of all, I have worked for more than a year in the refugee crisis movement under Bangladesh Red Crescent Society, which is the auxiliary to the government and also as part of the International Committee of the Red Cross. Was that had from my professional jurisdiction, what I have seen that when I myself went to different field visits at the peaks of the at different refugee camps, we need to understand this is another world. Like for example, the Rohingya camp, it is when we consider it as it is in Teknaf or Ukhia, but it is decentralized at different places in among these Teknaf and Ukhia upazilas. What I believe that with Bangladesh and Myanmar, there is a huge amount of unrestricted border areas with us between Bangladesh and Myanmar, as well as we know that it is not always possible for that is for our BGBs and the coast guards to always monitor the sea, the Bay of Bengal. That means it is a route of illegal human trafficking, illegal migration for a huge long decades of time. Therefore, it is natural due to its geographical proximity that that refugees will be coming and moving from here. This is because due to the geographical condition of Bangladesh, that is the Teknaf and the Ukhia Upazila, what we see in there that we have huge amount of unrestricted access from the Myanmar border side through the Nak River and from Shahpuri deep areas into it, and from Bangladesh they also migrate to some of the to Thailand and Malaysia, even in the seaports. That means from tracing point of view, we are trying our best to actually always try to protect the international protection team, which consists of all the different agencies and the subsectors who are working in this Rohingya crisis. Is everyone is trying to protect these and to make people aware. But at the end of the day, it is the brutality of the Myanmar government, I believe, and the other regional groups, the interclash and the civil clash among the different Myanmar groups at the Arakan and the Rakhine state, which has caused them for not a stable living condition in that area, and which has caused civil wars in those regions according to the Myanmar government. And that's why when they become when they're attacking these Rakhine people and the Rohingyas uh, peoples, they are totally sweeping them away from their countries, which is results as still there today because of their brutality of the Myanmar government and the Myanmar army. Till that people are going disappeared, people are being swept out of their homeland, so they have no place to go. So by natural they are bound to come to Bangladesh because of its
Right.
geographical close nature of its proximity. So
Okay.
I think it will be coming.
Okay.
More
I have a
refugees
question.
will be coming
Uh,
unless there are international diplomatical pressure by the Myanmar government.
Okay, so I have a question. Like apart from this, that what is the food? Is there any possibility of the food crisis for the more than actually? I know that probably almost 1 million people who are Rohingya actually who are migrant from Myanmar. They are staying in Cox's Bazar. So whole Bangladesh is locked down. How about their food supply and what is their? And how do they get the food? Is there any possibility of food crisis there?
Okay, due to the food crisis which I want to address to you all, this is actually, first of all, we need to understand the supply chain of the food supply of the refugees there in the camps. That there are many NGOs and INGOs and the UN actors and the country partners as well as the government, and under this refugee repatriation and relief commissioner's office, they have been working hard to actually minimize the food crisis. But many reliefs have been coming from since when the refugee camps have been established. But the problem is not in the availability of food, but the problem is the transportation. Right now, look, the transportation from Chittagong to Cox's Bazar, it is now under lockdown. Even the emergency medical facilities, the PPE kits, the equipments, also the foods, it is difficult to come. We are in a great challenge. And if we see, according to the report of the intersectoral coordination group, that is the ISCG report, which is the coalition of the actors of different NGOs and the UN actors and the government, and according to their last published report as of May 4, 2020, they have shown this challenge that due to this lockdown, the whole transportation system of the country is shut down. Therefore, it becomes now difficult for the people, all for the NGOs, for the independent donors, for the UN actors to actually supply the food in the camp at the appropriate time, because Dhaka to Chittagong, from Chittagong to Cox's Bazar highway, it is fully under shutdown. So there are some of the organizations like Bangladesh Red Crescent Society which has the Myanmar Refugee Relief and Operation of this is one program, and also Bangladesh government from their CIC offices, that is the camp in charge offices under the district administration, and also the UN agencies under the World Food Program. They have been trying hard to give food supply to the right now to the refugee people from their stock. They have some buffer stock, but I think if the crisis goes like this, the lockdown goes like this due to COVID-19, I fear there will come a time there will be huge shortage of food supply that cannot be minimized. They are right now using their backup option, which has to be used in the monsoon at the cyclone season. But they are using that buffer food right now, which has been in the stock of Red Crescent and the UN actors of the World Food Program and the other distinguished agencies like International Rescue Committee.
Yeah, we got this point, but I have another question. Like, we know that a lot of people are staying there. They're actually, the nutrition condition of that place is not good. They have the habit of massive populations, and a lot of pregnant women actually live there. And the standard of living and the hygienic and the cleanliness, it's not that much good in that area. The footage we got from the area of that area. So, what is the threat of COVID-19? Do you think they are prepared for the threat of COVID-19, or lockdown bring any help for them?
Okay, this is actually a very tough question to address. We have to understand few analyses beforehand. This is firstly what we know that the population density in the Rohingya crisis, it is 4,000 in per square kilometer, which is 40 times more than the population density according to area or land capacity of the normal population of Bangladesh. It is 40 times more.
So,
therefore, it now becomes difficult how they will maintain their social distancing, how they will maintain their their cleanliness, their hygiene. When it comes to they are living, like I have from my own experience, they are living in somewhat 7 feet by 10 feet shelter. They are living 7 to 8 members of the family within 7 to 10 feet shelter. Then how can we say, even from the humanitarian ground, that how they themselves will be ensuring their own cleanliness and their hygiene and also their social distance? This means there is a vulnerable threat of COVID-19 coming there.
Okay, I have another question. Like, what the report I got from international newspaper, that some of the people who are working with NGOs, some of the foreigner, especially from European foreigner who are working there, they are actually COVID-19 positive. They travel from their country and there was no COVID-19 positive in the first stage, but this NGO, those people have, we find out that report, some of them have COVID-19 positive. So Bangladesh, if asks a question that this NGO bring COVID-19 in Rohingya camp, how this NGO will define this question?
Okay. Firstly, we need to understand that whatever is published in media, it depends actually on the perspective of the journalist. That is, if we see the official record as of the latest updated report according to UNHCR, according to April 30, 2020, you will see that there is only one corona positive in the whole Cox's Bazar district.
Really?
Therefore, okay, we can't comment on the validity of the media, whatever they are writing. But yeah, there can be assumptions that as there is always community transmission between, there is always transmission of different cultural people from different geographical backgrounds. The foreigners have been involved in order for Rohingya response, but it does not necessarily mean they are COVID-19 positive. Yes, indeed, our government has been trying hard according with the also with the intersectoral coordination group. They have been trying all the NGOs and the UN actors. They all have been trying hard to be prepared in this COVID-19 scenario. So they have to be prepared for this COVID-19 scenario. They are all prepared. We have actually from the NGO perspective, here already 300 beds, isolation beds have been prepared. And 600 general beds have been prepared for quarantine issues, and also for 1700 they have the whole NGO allies, they have a plan for 1700 beds coming if COVID-19 attacks. But they have been trying their best that it does not reach the refugee camps. Otherwise, devastation will happen. Disaster will happen.
Okay, I'm going to another issues, which is right now burning issues. That last 2-3 days ago, the foreign office of United Kingdom actually communicate with the foreign office of Bangladesh that about the taking 500 Rohingya who are actually right now in the sea. Still now the news comes that they are in the sea. That Bangladesh said that it's in international sea, and Bangladesh request to United Kingdom, take them to your country. We are not allowing them in our country anymore. So from a human rights, from a worker, you are working in this situation, you know about this camp, and you are a Bangladeshi also. So from your point of view, what is the best thing for them? Malaysia don't actually allow them to enter. Right now they are in the sea. This is really breach of human rights. So what do you think about this?
Okay. Actually, first of all, we need to understand the geography of Bay of Bengal in order to answer this question.
Okay.
That is, if we see the geographical context of the Bay of Bengal, well, we have here Bangladesh. At that side, we have Myanmar, we have the India, we have Malaysia and Thailand. So therefore, from the point of view that if comes in the Bay, if the refugees come in the Bay of Bengal, it is actually not always the duty of the government of Bangladesh to accept each and everyone. Already we have shown huge humanity, the world's largest, I think the largest humanity we already, our PM and the government of Bangladesh have already shown. And we are fighting the world's largest refugee crisis already. And when there is also added crisis like this global COVID-19 pandemic, it is actually becomes tough for the government to accept each and everyone to Bangladesh. Therefore, it is not what I am trying to say. It is not only the duty of the
Okay.
Bangladesh government. It is
And
also the duty of the other geographical locators near the Bay of Bengal, like Malaysia and Thailand as well. But why are not the taking? Why the foreign affairs is actually pressurizing Bangladesh government to accept each and everyone?
okay. So I have another question. Like after the COVID-19, hope that it will over after 3-4 months. But after the COVID-19, the world will be in recession, especially the donor country who are helping for this time. That European country, there will be economic risk. So the donation money or the flow of the money may be actually decreased. And at that time, who will take the responsibility of feeding them and taking care of them? Only Bangladesh government is responsible, or Bangladesh kick them out from the country? What do you think after the COVID-19? What will be the scenario of Rohingya camp?
Okay. It is indeed true that most of the donor countries and the donors and the most of the headquarters of the different international agencies and the NGOs are in the developed country. It is indeed true that when the art is hitting a global decision, then how they will be donating? We need to understand every NGOs and UN actors and every donor organization, they have a buffer inventory of fund, and which can be used at any undefined at any type of undefined crisis. I think they can support this crisis. But it is indeed true, that there will be a bit shortage of fund, and well, but it is not actually the duty of the government of Bangladesh solely. It is the duty of all the governments who have supported Bangladesh till date. If each and every government supports us like the way they have been doing, I think we can tackle the recession of the funds in
Okay.
post COVID-19 scenario for the refugee
Okay,
crisis.
Hamim Islam. Actually, our another guest speaker who is A.S.M. Suza Uddin already joined with us. We can
Hi.
see him. He's country manager of
Artolution, yeah.
Artolution, a refugee program at Cox's Bazar,
Mhm.
and independent journalist and refugee crisis expert. He covered all the news from the beginning of the refugee crisis. He was one of the few Bangladeshi journalists who was in Myanmar after the crackdown. So he has the best expert and knowledge about this issue. So I'm going to Sujauddin at this time actually. Suja, what do
Yeah.
you think? What the COVID-19 scenario? How much? What is the threat of COVID-19 in refugee camp? What do you think? Is there any threat
Okay.
of COVID-19 there?
Okay, thank you. So I'm so sorry because I'm for being late, and I'm trying to fix my internet and also try to be here. So thanks, Zahid, welcoming me here, and also Hamim Islam, who has been working in this crisis for a long times and playing important roles. So you know the situation is. I mean, the situation inside in the camp, and this is not only the risk movement. I mean, this is not only the worst or time or pandemic is going on with them, because they are the people who has an experience with the trauma, genocide, and also the ethnic cleansing. So in the meantime, when you talk about any kind of spatial alarming things or any kind of threat, so first we need to be think about it like what is the present condition of the Rohingya refugee, because we know that inside in the camp and there is a like I mean per square kilometer like 2 or 3 people are living, and there's a I mean they don't have that much space to live to survive. So they're surviving like one of the house and where like 10 or 15 people are living. So when you talk about any kind of social distance and also the physical distance, and I personally think like it is not that much possible for the Rohingya people to maintain this kind of things, first of all. And second is definitely, and this is another risky zone, and this is kind of it will be really amazing. It will be threat for not only for them, and it will be I mean I can't express like the word, because you know the situation around 1 million people in the Uki and Teknaf refugee camp, and this is an registered and unregistered refugee camp. So when you like 1 million people, if anything happened to them, how will I identify? I mean, Hamim working for the Bangladesh Red Crescent BDRC. So and we know that like right now there's a lot of so around 240 organizations work there inside in the camp, and a lot of aid workers has been working there. I mean, around 40,000 humanitarian worker, local, national, and international, has been worked there. But right now, Hamim also know that like we are as a humanitarian worker, what we are doing, we are trying to providing the serving from the home, but the reality is not possible. It's not possible in the reality. So in that case, like even isolating them and also finding them what happened to them. And I mean, so when anyone has any kind of symptom, so how they will find out? There's a millions of, I mean around 1 million people. So if anything happened to them, it will be really big threat for their
Ready?
that vulnerable community. And especially we are as a host community. I mean, I'm based on from Cox's Bazar. So as a Cox Bazarian, when I'm thinking about like, okay, right now we know the situation is, I mean, going to be, I mean, worse day by day, even in the Cox's Bazar. And there are like around 19 cases confirmed, and one of the person died on COVID-19. So before we thought that, okay, so right now there is no foreign humanitarian worker in Cox's Bazar, and there is no national humanitarian worker, I mean, in charge like other organizations, especially without the those who are providing healthcare and emergency service. But we don't know, but still the thing is going on, and this is kind of unknown scenario. So this is a risk for everyone. And this is another, if I added Zahid, another things you also aware and Hamim also aware. And we know that recently one of the boat rescued by the Bangladesh Coast Guard, And what, as a journalist, I just used to talk with, try to communicate with the people around the world and also those who are covering this crisis. So what I heard from one of my colleagues from the Myanmar, the situation inside in Myanmar is not good. There is a bad situation is going on. Even the clash in between the Arkan army and also the Myanmar army is going on there. So what will be the result? So result is, when this is because the Myanmar is in our neighboring country, when anything happened to them, so what they usually do? So they try to survive. They try to take the shelter. So what the neighboring country of the northern Rakhine, so Bangladesh is one of the neighboring country, and we know that this is a heavy responsibility. What heavy responsibility for the neighboring country? I'm not talking about only the Bangladesh. I'm talking about the other country like the Thailand, Malaysia, and
Yeah.
also like Indonesia. And it is very sad things, like that boat had, I mean, they try to assure in the shoreline of the Malaysia, but they deny, and the HA speech is going on inside in Malaysia. So even in the Thailand, Zahid, if I inform you, like in 2015, in Thailand and Malaysian border, there was a mass grave found. So I mean, the
Yeah.
another crisis is human trafficking is going on. When you're talking about the quantity of the dead peoples, when in a day like 60 people die on a boat, and it's still like there is another case, and another issue is that there's another two boat which we know informed from the different media. The two boat is standard at the sea in Andaman Sea. It might be near to the different oceans. So there is no solutions on that. And so right now, the humanitarian agency and also the international humanitarian workers, and they all are asking to the Bangladesh government so that they will take it positively and also try to allow to them. But in the meantime, our foreign minister also said why it is only the responsible for Bangladesh. So both of the
Yes.
people have the logical ground, but the thing is that they're the human being. That the human being, something need to be sort of. And when I interview one of the Rohingya leader, and who is basically advocating for the Rohingya rights and justice, so he also talked about, okay, we are not only talking about the responsibility of Bangladesh, but what else options they have. So
But
regarding that,
I'm not.
like I'm just trying to, I just gonna finish this. So regarding that, if anyone, so there is a human trafficking and migrants, and a lot of things is going on. So just think about it. And there was issues. I don't know it was the wrong or right news or not. Somebody tried to come. Somebody crossed the border from the Myanmar. So if anyone come from the Myanmar with COVID-19, what will be the situations? And then the thing is that how people know they're affected by the COVID-19, because inside in Myanmar, even there is no, I mean, there is no proper healthcare system. Is not going well. Even Bangladesh is doing better than other neighboring country in this context. So I feel this is this is alarming for Bangladesh, and this is alarming for all the people, those who are all the actors, those who are working. But in the meantime, I hope like the UN and also Hamim is working, and people had an amazing experience to deal with the pandemic, and experience to cover and also work during the time of the crisis. So I think in this context, like people are trying to do and try to from the distance try to take care of
Okay.
themselves, also communicate. And in the
Yeah,
meantime,
I
I
have a
just heard
question for you.
just one minute,
Yeah.
just 30 and half an hour ago, I just saw one of the post of one of the Rohingya, and they said that like 4G internet is available inside in the camp. So I think
Yes,
humanitarian
right now
worker
it
right
is
now
made
able to communicate.
available in
Yeah,
few
yeah,
camps, I think.
I
yeah,
have a
Jared.
question for Suja, that he's expert about this. That the question, Bangladesh after the COVID-19, Bangladesh is in lockdown for the last 1 month, and this is actually a massive financial loss for Bangladesh, economic loss for Bangladesh. We need
Mm.
to accept it, and Bangladesh is actually major exporter of garments and other things, which is
Yeah.
mainly related to the European countries, and Europe is on the brink of financially lost and European recession in the coming future. And
Mm.
Bangladesh will be in food
Mm.
crisis. Bangladesh will be in recession in coming future. So who will take care of this Rohingya? And is this Rohingya bring any threat to the Bangladesh food supply in near future if
Okay.
they actually do not take away their base?
Okay. Jahid, I think Hamim also informed that. So basically, who are for the first of all, who are providing food to the Rohingya? The
Yeah.
number one, the UN agency and the World Food Program, they are providing the food to the Rohingya, and along with the cooperations of the Bangladesh government, along with the cooperations of the Bangladesh government. Even during the time of pandemics, the World Bank funded for the Rohingya and also for the host community. So even during the crisis. So when UN dealing with that, so it's basically the UN and also the international actors. So they're playing role, and they're also providing food and also the other health facilities and other facilities to the people of the Rohingya. And so right now, like, and this is definitely Bangladesh, like, 85% RMG is depend, our economy depend on the RMG. And we already know that, like, European country, they already deny the order which was produced, and as this intent to get the money from the other country. But in the meantime, the European country, they already postponed the order, and a lot of things is going on. So the another thing is that I'm working with one of the international NGO. This is the NGO, USA based NGO. So when I talk to them, what are the funds? So this is the fund crisis is going on, because you know that last time Donald Trump himself to cut down the fund from the World Health Organizations, and most of the fund of the UNICEF USA is a 40% depend on the USA. So when itself the development country, they're facing their own problems. So I think I asked several times with the several peoples and also several humanitarian experts. So they're talking about, because the budget for this year is already predetermined, and it's already they have done all the budget, and they have already pre-planned for this year. So in 2020, and they're talking about for the 2020, it will not be play any kind of negative role, or it will not be seen in worse way. But after 2020, when they're asked for the another fund, when they're asked for the another support from the different kind of actors who are philanthropists, or who are providing different kind of personal fund or personal donations to the peoples. So that time there is that time the problem will be arise. So I think still the UN is still they're standing in their own point, and they try to solve. But what I try to assure, like, what I try to say in my observations, basically the UN and also the NGO, they're providing the food to the Rohingya. And in the meantime, also right now, the 30% of the humanitarian organization, they have a responsibility for the host community, especially for the Cox's Bazar. I think Hamim aware about that. So regarding
Yeah.
that, this year I don't think so. For the food supply, I don't think so this year it will face any kind of problem for the, they will spread. I think after that, this 2021, so that time we can assume, and we can see exactly what's gonna happen.
Okay.
But right now, I think situation is under control.
I want to come to a question. Like, we know that for the lockdown, Bangladeshi people also suffering, especially day labor and the below poverty line. Bangladeshi people are suffering for food. Many NGOs and many organizations are helping them. And when Bangladeshi citizen who can't get the food, and you are supplying all the food through Bangladesh to the Rohingya people, don't Bangladesh deserve some food? Those people are actually right now hungry. They are not getting food for the last 1 month. What do you think?
Okay, Hamim, I think Zahid, I can share with you one of the good things. So what I know, like, so there is one of the government organization is called the Triple RC. So Triple RC, and I'd like to thank the Triple RC peoples and also the DC here. So basically, they decided, like, their half month of the salary they are given to the for the host community peoples. And right now I talk with the few of the organization, especially like when I talk to the one of the person from the BRAC and also the other NGO. So basically, not this time, also the before they started the program for the host community. I'm not able to say like this is enough or not enough. I don't want to say that, but rather than what I try to say, like, yes, they're doing something. And in the meantime, I also heard that this is unofficially, and a lot of the NGO, they are unofficially giving money for the host community peoples. And also they are even the humanitarian worker, like suppose Hamim is a humanitarian worker, just come from the Dhaka. So, and there is this kind of humanitarian worker, even they're trying to do something for the host community. And what I understand, like, yes, last time I saw that World Bank has a World Bank funded, and that there are also the budget for the host community. And I think definitely, because Bangladesh is one of the country, I said, like, I proudly said Bangladesh is one of the country which is like serving the people, hosting like 1 million peoples. We have a problems, and we have a lot of problem inside, but we are the people who are hosting 1 million, because this is one of the largest refugee camp of the world. So definitely Bangladesh deserve, and whenever we talk to the people internationally, whenever we talk to the raise these questions, definitely we say yes, it is time to you also be part of bigger part of Bangladesh, and you need to be think something for the Bangladeshi community. And this is not the dealing with the refugees, also the depend on the diplomatic relationship and how Bangladesh asks. And so we are kind of like, I mean, right now we are saying like we are independent, and we don't have is still we are not facing any kind of problem of the food supply and lacking of the food, still we have. And I think our government, this is a smart governments, and I think they will, and any kind of they know how to negotiate with the international diplomat and also the other country. So I think if they will able to negotiate, even if I talk like if the DC of the Cox's Bazar, he's an amazing person, if he able to negotiate with the humanitarian worker, then I think for the Cox's Bazar host community people, at least for we, I mean, it will not be problem. So yeah, but personally I agree with you, definitely Bangladesh deserve.
Okay. Okay. Apart from this question, actually, in coming from the actually comment box that a lot of people are commenting there. But before that, actually, I want to mention that HYD has worked with MUN for the last 5 years, and we know that all of us here actually one time was an ex-manner. Suza was one of the great manner in his time, actually back in 2012, 13.
2000,
And
yeah, 13, 15,
yeah,
yeah.
2012, 13. He's one of the actually burning manner in the table. Actually, was one of the good manner at the time, and Hamim also was good. Actually, was one of the award winner in Kitman India. So. Because most of the people are commenting here, all the actually junior.
I have a question. I have a question for both of you. I have a question for both of you. If you allow me, I can ask.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
So I know like HYD has been working for a long time. So I mean, impacting and exploring Bangladesh around the neighboring country and also the world. So this is all the time. Even when I talk to the Zahid, he's very good dude of me. And when I ask him like, okay, we are ex-mana and we know how to do the debate and we know how to deal with something. So when people are coming in the practical field, and if I ask you, if I ask both of you, because you guys are right now leading this era, so if I ask both of you, like what in practicality, what it's really helped you, like when you have an experience, you are an ex-manner, you are organizer, what is the practical impact of immune?
Okay, I would like to first tell about the impacts of MUN in my life. Like today, that is for MUN today, I have the capacity to work at Access to Information Program, which is a joint project of Bangladesh government and UNDP. For MUNs today and for HYD, I believe I have also got my capacity, my skills for working in BDRCS as well. This was why I am telling this. This is because from our general education, we learn from inside the classroom. But when, yes, we are doing MUNs from inside the classroom, but MUN teaches us how to negotiate. MUN teaches us the art of communication. MUN teaches us how to influence other people. I believe if we have these techniques, we can always create our influence in our offices. We can always create our leadership in any place we go. We can actually have a voice in any place we go, whether it is an interview in an international organization, or whether it is working with the community people or the guest community people at the refugee camp. One can do everything, because when we do MUNs, we are meeting unknown people from different lands. That boosts us up for our confidence. And today, when we have the confidence and we have the skills of negotiation and we have the confidence of organizing MUN in any place in the world, I believe, being part of the HYD team, if I am put into even the Sahara Desert for a crisis, I think I will be able to handle it, because I am accustomed to writing policies. I am accustomed to negotiate with any unknown people. I am accustomed to have the confidence in me. And I think these things where today we can say proudly as a manner, that means manners, are today at different places. I can give examples like Khaled Mahmoud Sadbhai. He has been a part of the government at BRTS and S.M. Director. Then Shojib Hasan Bhai, he has been in the in the central bank of the
And Hamim
government,
Islam
that is the
also.
Bangladesh Bank. And then and we have other manas like Tanzim Firdaus, who is working in the United Nations. We have Shojul from UNICEF, who have been working with UN volunteers, I think. And then we have many manners who are in different embassies, who are in different international organizations, who are working at the best of the best of the employers. That means manners can create an impact
Yeah,
in
I mean, that's
lifetime.
why
It is
we are
already
here. I mean,
proven.
that's why we are 3 years together. Yeah, Zahid.
Yes, that's why
If
we
I ask you,
react
like,
together. Right now,
why you
even I am
started
sitting somewhere,
HYD?
you are
Why
sitting
you started
somewhere, and Zahid, you are
HYD?
sitting at London.
Okay, if you ask me the same question, I can share that if you think about my route, I came from Gazipur, and actually I came from Bangla medium school. I was very much afraid to speak in English. I was not from English medium, and in the AIM event teach me a lot of things. Right now, I can communicate around the world. Even I got scholarship in my masters from University of East London. Then I was elected in England. I elected as a National Student Union and member from a representative. So I serve as a elected member of National Union of Students NUS in of United Kingdom for 1 year. So I have the confidence to do the election in another country, which is United Kingdom, and I win the election. I got the office. I got the scholarship in my masters. Even right now, I'm in England. But if I think about the background, okay, the confidence I get from the MUN because a guy from a village school who get 100. Actually, in my school, I got 100 taka scholarship because I used to go to school and pass the exam. That was the criteria.
Okay.
And I need to learn English 3 times. Like first, I learn English. It is egg. Then I learn English. No, it's not egg. It's egg. So
Even
now
for me, just think about it. For me, like I'm from Chittagong, so in my language, and this is completely so. In there's a book and there is a term. It's called the others. When we are talking about in philosophical perspective about the others, so we are for the Asian, the Western is others, and for the Western, we are the others. So when I'm from Cox's Bazar, for the Dhakaya people, we guys are the others. Yeah,
yeah,
that's super.
Everyone helped us a lot. Okay, and from the comment box, actually, I think actually Syed Ishtiaq is one of my favorite delegates, and he is very much excited. And Dipro is excited. Tayyaba is excited. Akida is excited. Okay, thanks to all of you. You have any question, you can ask us. But we're coming to I'm coming to final question right now because for 10 more minutes for this show. That you already mentioned that till 2020 it's safe that we can feed the Rohingya. Even the agency will feed the Rohingya in 2020, but we don't think that there is any way Bangladesh can get out from this Rohingya crisis by 2020. If the Rohingya remain like 1 million there, and after 2020 there is not enough fund from the international board, Bangladesh, it will be Bangladesh own responsibility. But what will be your suggestion for Bangladesh at that time?
Okay, so if I mentions like so I mean if you allow me, and thanks for your wonderful questions. I think the audience will be happy to know that. So Rohingya are not here after the 2017. So 2017 was not the first influx. The first influx happened even when the 1982 Citizenship Act happened inside in Myanmar, and that time like 119 ethnic peoples, and they are certified as a citizen, and only the Rohingya not allowed as a citizen. So after the 1982, they started their massacre campaign and also the ethnic cleansing, though UN say it might be genocide. But I say this is completely live genocide. So in that perspective, so Rohingya influx happened before many years, even 1977, even 1997, that things happen, even gradually it's happening. So every day from 1997 till 2017, every day people are coming from the northern part of Rakhine. But when you talk about the influx, we talk about the influx only when the huge amount of people like cross the border, fled from the northern part of Myanmar. So regarding that, Rohingya are not leaving after the 2017. So there was only one camp, like registered camp inside in, it's called the Kutubalong registered camp. Right now, this is a huge, I mean, is a mega camp. I was there more than times. It was it was an amazing reserve forest. It was a reserve forest. So after the Rohingya, it's like this is right now desert. I interview more than 500 Rohingyas. I interview 300 Rohingya who has an experience of genocide and ethnic cleansing. I interview around 20 journalists around the world who work for the BBC, who work for the Reuters, who work for the Associated Press. I have a chance to work with a lot of people. One of the Rohingya said, "We are in Bangladesh not by choice. We are in Bangladesh by chance." So according to this quotation, so basically what Bangladesh previously do, definitely all the time Bangladesh, I said Bangladesh is an innocent victim. Bangladesh is an innocent victim of this influx. Neither this is Rohingya people, they are not accused of this kind of, I mean, we are not able to blame them. And in the meantime, this is not only the responsibility of Bangladesh, but what Bangladesh can do right now, because Bangladesh is the one of the country right now, is very vital and important country. So even says like this is kind of like human ping ping game or something going on around the world. So because right now the world interest in Bangladesh, because of the refugee crisis, and also after the 2017, Cox's Bazar was the headline even more than Bangladesh. And after the 1971, if you search in Google, you'll find Cox's Bazar, even Kutupalong, even Ukiah. If you ask to the New York City, even the London, so you can ask like Ukiah, they will know Ukiah, but somebody maybe will not know any other city of Bangladesh because of the context, because it's huge. I mean, it's the I mean, the value of this news, people really care and they're thinking about that. So regarding that, what Bangladesh can do, because Bangladesh right now in a good position to deal. Everyone, Bangladesh can ask everyone. Bangladesh have a right to ask everyone. So for the International Criminal Court justice for the Rohingya, they need Bangladesh support. Even any of the country, even UN, they need the Bangladesh support. So what Bangladesh can do, because Bangladesh is one of the significant country of United Nations within 194 country, independent country. So as a country, Bangladesh is a part of UN. So Bangladesh also need to cooperate with the United Nations. Bangladesh are not, I mean, if Bangladesh deny and not cooperate with the United Nations, it will not be good. So what Bangladesh can do, what Bangladesh are doing, Bangladesh diplomatically, last 3 years, Bangladesh diplomatically dealing these issues with the international actors and international peoples. And I think Bangladesh is a success in a way, because I heard a lot of people, I talk with the BD refugee camp. This is the one of the second largest refugee camp is in Africa. It's in Uganda, Kampala. So they are the victim of they're the victim of South Sudan. They are the South Sudan refugee. So I talked to them. So they said, "Oh my God, this is not a refugee camp. How organized it is." So this has happened for the Bangladeshi peoples. This is in Bangladeshi people support. And I would like to say one thing, rather than talking about the government issues, though it's kind of sensitive. I say one thing: the Cox's Bazar based people, the host community, they first accept the people of Rohingya. They are the people who first help the people of the Rohingya. They are the people who really give shelter. So I think if any of the Rohingya audience will be here, I can say like Rohingya should respond. Rohingya should both respect the Bangladeshi rules and regulations, and Rohingya should both respect the host community. And I also can say, as a host community, it is. I mean, it will be not be good if we make the hate space. And rather than Bangladesh can do along with the international actors, Bangladesh can make sessions, or can Bangladesh can lead this. This is the time Bangladesh can lead this crisis, not the other countries. Not other countries are taking the advantage, but the Bangladesh should do that. So I think if Bangladesh can do what example Bangladesh has been done, we don't need the Nobel Peace Prize. We don't need the Nobel Peace Prize like the Aung San Suu Kyi. We don't need that. What we need, we need the international recognition what we have done. So
Okay.
Bangladesh, this is the time to be
Uh,
Bangladesh,
uh,
and
uh,
Bangladesh diplomatically can deal that. Either, I mean, this is a matter of diplomacy. Like we all are immune. Like we are young diplomat. So I mean, this is a matter of diplomacy. If Bangladesh can diplomatically can deal with that, that can handle. And definitely, this is a huge amount of people, and every day 192 children are born. And I like it was 5 months before report, like 35,000 pregnant women inside in the camp. This is a kind of, yes, this is alarming. It's not alarming only for Bangladesh. This is alarming itself for the Rohingya people. If they will not conscious, if they will not care about themselves, they should cooperate with Bangladesh government, and Bangladesh should deal with diplomatically.
Okay, that we have 10 more minutes left, so we're going to final question. Like, what do you think about the Bhasanchar issue?
Okay. I think this is a more you're all the time, bring up the question. So Bhasanchar issue, because this is in one of the island.
Yes.
I had an opportunity to was the firm and to see the Bhasanchar externally, not inside. So Bhasanchar as a place to survive, outlook super, is good outlook. But I mean, inside, I don't want to say it is Bangladesh government will take the decision how they will bring the people, where they will keep the peoples. And in the meantime, I think when people doesn't have any other options to survive, so whatever options they will get, they'll accept it. Whatever options they will get, they will accept it. When they don't have any options to survive. And number two is, definitely there was a lot of report of Bhasanchar and about the cyclones and also the natural disaster, how I mean, how a structure, how it will sustain or not. And last time we thought that like the repatriation might happen, and we thought that like they will keep the people in Bhasanchar. So I interview a lot of people inside in the Rohingya community. So few of the people agree about the to go in Bhasanchar, because they know, and they get the information from different people, and also the organizations are working. But because people need to get the information where they will go. I don't know. I will not say it's not, and I'm not authorities to say they will go or it is wrong or right. Rather than I can say that people has a right to know where they will go. This is safe or not safe. It is Myanmar or it is Bhasanchar. Whatever. I mean, if they understand, if we are able to make them understand, definitely they will. If they will convince, and they will go. I mean, so I mean, as a human being, I mean, as a human being, and agree about the human rights. I can't say like tomorrow I'll force them to go. I can't say that, and this is not right. But what I can say, like, definitely this is also like government decisions. And if government I mean, they need the message where they'll survive. It is in every human rights, like as a human being, you are, suppose you go to the Dhaka and try to take shelter, or like you try to go and stay with someone home, and then you ask first, is there safe, is this okay? And your mom asks you, hey my son, are you okay on the road? Everything's transportation is good. So if you have that right, why not others? So I think this is when the government will decision. But right now, last 3 months I didn't see any kind of update report on that. And I think because right now there's another situation is going on. So, and government are I mean, try to handle it, and government deal with diplomacy smartly. And definitely after the Rohingya crisis, and I saw, and I am the witness how government smartly deal with the international actors and also the other people.
Okay, thank you, Suza. I'm coming to the Hamim for the final question. That Hamim, do you think if the people of Rohingya leave Bangladesh permanently, can Bangladesh term them important asset Bangladesh? There is a chance to permanently. Can we turn them as an asset for this country rather than burden?
Yes, actually, I think Rohingya crisis is not. We should not view it as a liability. Rohingya, I think it is a. I think from a humanitarian point of view, it is an opportunity for Bangladesh government. The way the acceptance of Bangladesh at the global arena in terms of the international relations and geopolitical perspective, the acceptance of Bangladesh has increased. The acceptance of Bangladesh has increased in the United Nations. The acceptance of Bangladesh has increased in all the different governments. That's why for many type of facilities the government is getting. If we believe, as Suja also knows, over the last 2 years, what we are seeing, there's a huge amount of fund coming for this Rohingya crisis to Bangladesh, which is also benefiting the host country. Bangladesh as
Okay.
well. There is a misconception I would like
Thank
to
you.
tell among the Bangladeshi people.
For
So that is the Rohingya people. That is all the funds are coming for Rohingya people. This is wrong. Well, the funds that are coming for the Rohingya people, so a significant part of them has been used by organizations like World Food Program, then BDCS and International Rescue Committee and UNHCR. They have a certain quota for the host communities, and every NGOs and UN actors, they have actually programs for the host community. That means it is also benefiting actually benefiting the government and also benefiting us. That means also it has created a huge amount of employment for the unemployed graduate youths of the country who are now working in quality international offices and organizations. This means it is both benefiting the host community, also it is benefiting the government, and also it is benefiting us as well. So therefore, I believe Rohingya crisis is always an opportunity for the government, and our government is very much smart in terms of their diplomatic stance and how they negotiate and deal with other countries and bringing funds. And obviously, if we can now empower the Rohingya people, thank you.
Thank you, Hamim. Suja, just wrap up this question within 1 minute because we have just 4 minutes left here.
Please.
What is your position? Can we transform them as an asset within 1 minute?
What is?
Can we transform this Rohingya as an asset for Bangladesh rather than burden?
I mean, first need to be defined like what is meant like asset. And I think definitely we can utilize their skill. They have a culture and they have a skill, so we can utilize their skill in a better way. And as like of the other countries who have it done, and I think that there's a huge possibility to utilize their skill.
Okay, thank you. We are in the last minute, but before closing this thing, I actually again thanks all the people watching around the world, and most of the people are actually young manner because HYD is especially an organization which organize MUN conference right now, more than 5 countries, and hopefully in the next coming years we can reach other countries around the world. So some of the people ask a question about what is the suggestion for the young organizer of young manner. For the young organizer, the main suggestion from actually as an organizing experience for myself that you need to be sustainable. Don't do it from your emotion. You need to be sustainable.
Yeah, if I added Zahid just a few seconds, like I'm working as a country manager for international organizations. Like we are the same age, you know. So what I did, like this is try to. I mean, we know how to do the network, but we don't know how to sustain it. So we need to do something in a practical way so that it will make impact. And I think that's the best options to do.
Yes. Okay. And this session can be an inspiration for the young manner because all the people are coming every day evening in our session, all are the manner, and they are now successful in their different field. And tomorrow you will find another manner from another field who are in working there as a pioneer in this sector, like Suja, like Hamim. So this is an inspiration platform for the manner also, and will address the global issue as well. Global burning issue, and you can learn something, do something for your country, and do something for your future career. And thanks Suza Uddin, one of the best journalists for Bangladesh, especially in Rohingya crisis, and he's one of the journalists. Actually, I find out in Sky News UK and BBC. Actually, I find out Suja is talking about the Rohingya crisis. So it's a great honor for us to having him with us, as well as actually thanks to Hamim for giving us this valuable time. He is working.
And thank you. Make it happen all the time. Even since I've been like watching, observing you since 10 years. You know, kind of every day. Like you have been working to gather the people. This is huge, man. This is something amazing.
Thank you. Hopefully, you will always support our the movement of House of BD Dialogue for the youth.
Definitely.
And it's a global youth platform. And tomorrow we're coming again with a new guest, and he will be a mannered definitely, and you can learn something from him, and he can be an inspiration for you. Hope to see you tomorrow. For today, it's goodbye and thank you.
Sure.
Bye.